now. So welcome everybody to the it's not the back to basics, it's the leadership training for MyWealth, and today is the 5th of February already, guys. 5th of February, like we are flying through this year. I don't care who says what. Somebody said that, oh my goodness, January is going so slowly. No, January is come and gone, and it's gone forever. It's gone forever. So awesome. Okay, so it's really awesome to have you guys on board. It's really great to have everybody here this evening. So this is the session. So any questions? Just as well, I put a shirt on. Thank you, for Fernando, for putting your shirt on. I really appreciate it. Don't worry. Last night I was doing my back to basics for my team, and one of the guys was like so hot. The load shedding had happened in his house, and he just like, there was a shirt off, and I'm like, dude, you're lucky you're not a lady. At least you don't have to go through all of that. So yeah. Okay, so are there any questions anybody would like to ask first before we kick off? Any questions that you're struggling with, that or anything great that's happened to you this last week? Wouldn't that be awesome just to hear some great news? Anybody want to share? Are we all good? You can either unmute yourselves. I think I've allowed you to unmute yourselves. Participants, mute all, allow them to unmute. Yep, you can unmute yourselves. Otherwise, guys, we're just going to hit the road and carry on. I ranked up Peter. Congratulations. That's absolutely amazing. Well done. Hey, that is so super cool to hear that. Well done. That's amazing. Anthony is going to rank up shortly as well. So this week, he should actually go senior consultant. So even Anthony is starting to rank up as well and do the work that he's supposed to be doing. So that's really amazing. And yes, for me too, I ended up with one of my downlines became manager yesterday too. So that was super amazing. So I've got a downline manager. So now I need to get the other parts of my teams up and running and seeing how they're going. Awesome that things are going well, Fernando. Really great. Anybody else like to say anything or ask a question? Okay, if not, I'm pretty sure you'll ask them as we go. So it's really welcome to have you guys on. We are 20 on board. That's really super amazing. Now, you guys all know that this is a free session. For you guys, it's free. It's not free to Shoal. I charge Shoal for this, by the way, just so that you all know. Nothing for nothing, eh, guys? I'm joking. Naledi also ranked up to senior consultant. Naledi, that's fantastic. Are you on here? I don't see you, but if she isn't on, well, this is recorded. So, Naledi, congratulations. That is absolutely amazing that you've gone senior consultant. Guys, these are two guys that were coached last year, which was really amazing. Two of the guys that went on the coaching program. So those of you who have got yourselves onto coaching program, you are in for an amazing treat. Some of you have got some, you've got your various different coaches that we've allocated you to. So that is going to be really cool. It is all about getting results for you. It is results focused. So those of you doing professional, you will be focusing on, and you should, there's no shadow of a doubt, at least recruit. There's personal recruit 20 people. There's no doubt in the next 6 weeks if you fulfill the program correctly. Okay, and I'm talking about quality people. I'm not talking about just everybody putting yourselves into there. And then the other one is, don't forget the mastermind. So that, please guys, get as many of your guys onto the mastermind as they possibly can. Shoal and Ant and myself had a chat, and we gave you the good old retailers, like I said earlier on, it's 2 for the price of 1. So you can actually get 2 of you onto that program as well. And we're really going to cover those absolute basics of what network marketing is and how you can master it. What are the skills that you need to master in network marketing and how you can actually master them. So that's what you're going to be focusing on there. And then, of course, the elite coaches are going to be also getting results as well, but then also focusing on how we can actually lead our teams and take our teams forward and that kind of thing. So looking forward to all of that. Super. Okay, so I thought I'd just cover some things that to give us some food for thought with regards to one, building a network, and two, just in general in our own businesses, in the works places where we are, what we can actually be focusing on as well. So a couple of things that mistakes that we make when we actually start in this network marketing profession is that the first mistake is that we generally actually try and make that our business is the gift that we are, the gift that is now being finally given to someone. And yes, we have an amazing opportunity in our hands, but we must not we must not say that it is the be end and all end product, because the moment we do that, we come across with that element of arrogance. And that's the last thing that we want to do. So that's one of the biggest mistakes that we make as network marketers. The other mistake that we make is we have a tendency, when we get to certain ranks, we stop our activity. And that could be detrimental to not just your business, but we need to remember that the people that we are leading will, in actual fact, end up doing only 50% of what we do. So if we always remember that, if you stop recruiting, your downline is going to stop recruiting as well. And then they're going to get into that comfortable space. So those are the first two mistakes. And then the third mistake, which we now, okay, I'm not going to use it specifically to Christmas, but it is at parties. Guys, please do not talk about your business at functions that you've been introduced to. For example, you could go to a Christmas party, or you can go to an Easter party, or you can go to someone's birthday party, and you talk about your opportunity. Now, I can tell you now, my husband was the number one violator of this mistake, okay? And I used to always like kick him under the table and say, now's not the right time. Now's the time to connect and learn about the person. And when you learn about the person, it's later on to go and find out, how does your business fit into their lifestyle? And if we focus on that, we will actually gain amazing, amazing momentum. So what I'd like to just look at is, some of you guys know this, especially the guys that have worked with me quite often, and that is, when you're at a party, what do you do so that you're not pushing your product or your opportunity or MyWealth down anybody's throat? Because that's the last place they want it for your product to be even mentioned. With you guys, it's a little bit easier because you have a tendency to always ask and measure each other based on what you're doing and who and your corporate job and that kind of thing. So you have a natural tendency to ask, so what do you do for a living? And the other party will answer what they're doing, and then they naturally also would have a tendency to ask you, what are you doing for a living as well? And then it's easy to answer. So if you are a full-time network marketer, it's natural you're going to then transition into what you're actually doing. So please spend some time in understanding, if somebody says to you, so what do you do? And you can literally say, so hey Sean, you know what, I'm a professional network marketer, and I thoroughly enjoy helping people start up home-based businesses. And then you stop. What you do immediately is I go back and I say, so Sean, so and he's already told me, let's say he's in construction. I'd say, so Sean, how's a construction business doing? Always go back to them, and you've got to learn to reflect back on them, because you're looking for how you can connect your opportunity to them, but not at that party. You're there to collect as much information as possible. And if you want to win their hearts over, then the best thing is to say, gee, you know what, I can actually connect you with Arnold. You know, Arnold is actually in the supplier of cement or whatever it might be, and connect people to people, because then people think, gosh, that was really unselfish of Doc Ant or Fernando, of Victor, saying, gee, gosh, they were quite happy to connect us. So be very vigilant and very aware of your conversations with regards to these entities. And if you can teach this to your downline as well, it is one of the things that I just learned coming out of for those of you who are in Pretoria, Johannesburg area are going to be very, very blessed, because this is it an IGO? What do we call this? hold on, let me just ask the
IBC,
IBC, which is our Investor Business Conference that we're having on Thursday evening. Some of you will be able to zoom in, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. But the guest speaker is Barry Mitchell. Now, I've known Barry, and I've been working with Barry, and Barry actually is like sidekick to Blair Singer, who is one of the advisors for Robert Kiyosaki. So Barry spends a lot of time going overseas and spends a lot of time genuinely around the table with 5-10 people in a room with Robert Kiyosaki and Blair Singer. So Barry's, as a humble guy as he is, you probably wouldn't know that, but he spends time with these guys, and so he's really clued up on sales and how to market sales and that kind of thing. So I met Barry probably about 5 years ago, and I've been partnering with him and doing his courses. So I've partnered as one of his trainers, which is a Blair Singer trainer, and we're always focusing on these kind of elements and things that we're talking about now. And one of the things that I've learned from him, and I'm going to just say to you guys, please get there on Thursday evening. And if not, please, if you're out of town, please get the link and listen to him, because every single year, at the beginning of the year, which is next, I'll tell you the date now, 21st and 22nd, every year, in the beginning of the year, I attend his sales course. And the reason being is because I learned stuff like this there. And when you think about all the information that I've just shared with you over the last few weeks, and even now I'm sharing this with you, and I'm thinking, gosh, it's like I'm overloading you guys with info. And I thought to myself, but where did I get it from, and where did it come natural to me? How has it been possible that I'm just talking to you? I don't have a PowerPoint, I don't have notes. I'm talking to you from what I know and what I've just experienced this last week and what I've been going through with my team. And really, it is because I've spent 5 years focusing on these particular entities. And Barry is one of the key elements that I've learned from his course. And I would highly recommend everybody jumps in and gets on it. And you know what? If you want to lift your skill level up, even if you are in an outlying town, if you're in Durban or Durban or Cape Town, I would get on a plane and do the course. It's probably the best. I don't know how much the course is now, but it is expensive, but it is the best that you would ever learn. And this is where I've learned these little tricks. Like, for example, the answer is always in the question. So if you wanting to Doc Ed says that's quote unquote from him, but he also learned it from going on Sales Explosion course, because I shoved him on the course as well, and he really was anti going on it. But the answer is always in the question. And so when we're connecting with these individuals, it is to always slow yourself down and say, I must not punt my business at every opportunity that I've got. What I need to do is I need to be a natural, honed in prospector that is at all times adding to my list and building my list at all times. And as I build my list, I then find opportunities to go back to that individual. So Doc Ant, for those of you who don't know, is actually a pastor as well, and he does a lot of weddings. So of course I get invited as the pastor's wife to all these weddings, and as we're sitting at all these weddings, I always end up at getting to, because he's busy preaching and teaching and what do they do, doing the ceremony and cutting the cake, and he's got a wealth of information that he shares with people at these events, and I end up sitting with people that I don't know. And so one of the techniques, and I know Sean knows this very well, Paula knows this backwards, that I'm always teaching it, Liz knows it as well, and I think those are the three of you that know me that well on this call, and that is form, F-O-R-M, form. Or you can go F-O-R-D, Ford. Okay, that's another one that you could actually use. But basically is, if you always remember this, if the answer's in the question, you will then ask the right question to get the answer that you want from an individual. So Ford or form starts with family. So always remember form. Form is very easy. So if I start a conversation, I need to find out, and with ladies on ladies, it's very easy to find out about family. Men, you might go straight into the second one first and then come back to the first one. So you guys might not, men might not generally start with family. Women would generally start with family. Men would start with occupation. So the F is for family, the O is for occupation. So yes, you guys, top it around, but it is about asking questions. So please never assume that people want to fire their bosses. Please never assume that people don't like the job that they're in. So when you're talking about their family, you can actually ask them the question about, hey, also guys, be very careful. Gentlemen, oh, my husband messed this up one day. And he asked a lady, when is she due? And she wasn't due at all. She wasn't even pregnant. So please stay away from those questions. You can just get yourself into trouble. Okay. Okay. So guys, please be aware of that. But start the questions like, for example, so, you're married, do you have children, has siblings, mom, dad still alive, those kind of things, connect with them. Occupation is probably the easiest one. So, hey, you know what, Paula, so what do you do, for a living? What's your job like? Oh, you must love going to work. That must be a beautiful occupation. It must be a beautiful industry to be working in. And she's going to say, no, I can't handle it. I hate my boss. Okay. Rather let her tell you that. Say, really, gosh, that's so interesting. Why? What is the one thing you really don't like about going to work? And then also ask her the question. So Paula, what is the one thing you do actually like about going to work? Try and get the positive back up again, because you're going to follow that conversation. Then guys, you're going to make a mental note. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to make a mental note of what you've learned from this individual when you're actually having these conversations. And then the most important thing, and it's a big thing I learned from one of the massive network marketers, and when I started doing this, it made my life a lot easier. Guy, I've spoken to you about Trello. Go onto Trello and update the information of the person, or else, you can always put them in your cell phone under notes, and then just add a little bit of, she's got a dog called Trixie, and Trixie wasn't well. So the next time you meet her, you can quickly, go check up Brenda. Oh, Brenda's got a dog called Trixie. You can say, hey, Brenda, how was Trixie? That's how you're going to build relationships with people all the time. And remember what we're in, and the biggest mistake that we make is we're always trying to close people. Okay, so the first mistake is that we make people think that this is a gift that's dropped out of heaven for them. The second mistake is that we stop personally doing our own activity, and that's why I'm speaking to you about this, because as leaders, we should never stop our own activity. And then number 3, we're trying to recruit at parties. And number 4 is, what is number 4 that I've just told you guys now? Let's see if you can remember that. Let's see who was listening. Okay, type it in for me. Okay, so guys, let's form. Absolutely, Sean. So it is about form, about asking them about and you want as much information as possible, and don't be the person who's putting them under a spotlight. Create it like a conversation. They'll ask you a question, then answer them. Then don't carry on about yourself. Think of how you're going to bring in another question, so that you just keep the conversation going. It's not an interrogation. Absolutely, Fernando, making those mental notes and then filling it in the notes section of that person's name. That is the most important thing you guys can do wherever you meet a person, because so often, how many times have you gone to your contacts list and you've said, God, I don't know who Jean is. Like, who's Jean? Is Jean from Cape Town? Is Jean, always recruiting, Paula, always prospecting, always building relationships, because you don't know. We're trying to close too quickly. And I've spoken to the fortune is in the follow-up. It's not in the close. Because if we try and close to people too quickly, what is going to happen is that we end up chasing them away. And then they're not interested. So we've got to create the interest in what we're doing as well. And remember, people's circumstances change. So when you're having this conversation, so F is for family, O is for occupation, R is for recreation. So R is recreation. That could be hobbies, it could be sports, it could be, so if you're speaking to athletes, for example, that are swimmers, runners, what else? Rugby players, these guys, as much as they think they've got their life sorted out, if they have an injury, then their careers are over. So you can ask them questions like, you know what, and refer to someone else. So you think about someone like, oh gosh, he's gone, his name, Lovey, who won the Comrade so many times? Bruce Fordyce. Okay, so you look at someone like Bruce Fordyce. In our day, he was going for number 10. And then what happened to Bruce? Bruce just disappeared off the face of the earth. So Bruce, you know, what happened? He had to change his whole career and start into doing public speaking and those kind of things. So please remember form when you're having conversations. You can do these conversations in 5 minutes and you can spread it over 3 hours. Trust me, I've done it over 3 hours and it was a long night. Okay. So it's family, occupation, recreation, and then M would be you're looking for their message. So what would be their message? What is their need that they would want to actually look at your opportunity when you come back to them at a later stage? If it was Ford, F-O-R-D, then the D would be for dream. What is their dream? What is their desire? And you can ask the question. So, hey, Sean, if time and money was taken care of and you could just do anything, every single day, what would that day look like? You will be amazed at how many people cannot even answer that question because they have stopped dreaming altogether because they don't believe that they can actually create that kind of opportunity for themselves. So guys, those are the things that I really want us to start being highly aware of as we're going through our weeks. And don't, you know, once you find a person's dream, don't then try and sell your opportunity to them there and then. Okay, because that's just like you're just going to chase them away and they're going to say, you know what, I'm too busy or whatever it is. So Doc's busy recruiting someone right now, conversations going backwards and forwards. And I just listened to the message that he listened to now, and the guy's like, oh no, I get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and I finish work at 4 o'clock. I'm running kids around and I can only speak to you at 5 o'clock. And I'm like, dude, I wouldn't even prospect that guy. You know what's his first thing he's going to tell me? I don't have time. So like, move on, next, find someone else. So the Brenda will remember this. Arnold is going to remember this. Sean Van den Berg will remember this. Limerick might even remember this as well. Arnold is going to know. Peter's going to remember this. Let's see who else. Liz will know this as well. Donnie's going to know this as well. And Michelle's going to know this as well. And that is, we need to say as little as possible to who would like to finish that sentence for me? Say as little as possible to
as many as possible.
As many people as possible. Absolutely. Okay, that's our job. So when you're saying as little as possible, what you're doing is you're actually asking questions, and you're asking questions to find out where they fit into your opportunity. Remember also, you don't want everybody in your business, because sometimes you're going to end up with the headaches in your business and because you pursued them. So like that guy that Anne's busy working with now, I'm like, dude, I wouldn't even waste my time and energy, give him to someone else, you know, because he's just going to become a real headache. And I don't have time for a headache. I don't have time for somebody who's going to phone me 7 times in a day. Or, you know, I've got time for somebody who schedules appointments. And if they're phoning me 7 times in a day because we've scheduled one-on-one, a 3-way calls, like I'm there for you, you know. But if you're just phoning me for random questions that you should have found out on a video or something like that, then I don't have time for that. I need to get leaders, and leaders become as independent as quickly as possible. And that is something that we as leaders need to be doing. We need to be sourcing that information and then moving on from our upline. Our uplines should not be our source that we're phoning every 10, 15 minutes. Our upline should be somebody that we're phoning to say, hey, this is what I've done. This is where I'm going today. This is what I've been doing. This is how I'm actually going to do it. What is your advice? And we should be moving on, because we should be spending that energy and time that you're trying to spend with your upline. Yes, you must check in on a daily basis with them, but all that time and energy should be spent downline. Okay, so if you're spending too much time with your upline, it means you're not spending enough time with your downline. And so just be aware of that as leaders as well. Okay, so remember that the people that were, ask Brenda. I like that. Ask Brenda, Fernanda. Brenda's got the answers for everything. She's really clued up. All right. So 3 reasons why the people that we're going to prospect would possibly fail in network marketing. So when you have a look at your downline right now, you should be asking your guys that you're working with and the people that you've personally brought into the business. You should be asking these 3 questions and make sure that that they have the right answer to them. And that is, do they know what it takes to build a network marketing business? Because most people who come on board don't know what it takes. So do they understand that it is jumping on and speaking to people every single day? It can't be something that we do today and we don't do tomorrow, and then we do the next day and we don't do it, or we don't do it for a month, like the whole month of December we have off, and then we come back January and then we've got to try and get into the swing of things. Is it? So do they understand? Do they know what it takes to build a network marketing business? Okay. Do they know what it takes to get to consultant? So when somebody comes in, they join, they're a member, and you explain to them that they've got to get their 3 people, and now they're founder, and then you say to them, right now your next rank is going to be consultant, you've got to get 12 people. Do they know that the minimum pre-consultant, they should be spending 5 hours a week in the business? Are they aware of that? Do they know what it takes to be consultant? Because it's exactly like a job interview. You can't wait, sorry, not a job interview, a job promotion. You can't wait until you get the promotion before you learn the skill. Okay? The person who learned the skill is the person who gets the promotion. So why would it be different in our network marketing environment? So the person who wants to go consultant, are they already spending a minimum of 5 hours a week in their business? So do they know what it takes? And that's do we know what it takes? So I'm seeing some people ranking up to manager, I'm seeing people ranking up to executive consultants, and I'm like saying, excuse me, are you putting 15 hours into your business per week? Because if you're not, that business is going to crash and burn. Okay, so that's what consultants are, that's what the whole thing is called for. Are we putting in those hours? And so please go down. So when one of my downline went manager, the first thing I jumped onto the call was, who is this person that's just gone manager? What is their activity? Who is in their team? And can they give the amount of, which is 12 hours a week, into this business? Because I am not going to allow them to claim manager fees if they're going to spend 6 hours a week in their business. That's just not on. Okay, that's basically stealing from Element. So guys, we really need to focus on are we honoring the terms and conditions? So do they know what it takes? The second one is, do they know how to do it? So do we know how to do it? Do they know what it is that they need to do in those 5 hours? Do they know what it takes as a manager or executive consultant or whatever it is? So when you've got somebody who's a member and they want to go founder, firstly, we've got to say, do they know what it takes? And secondly, we've got to know is, do they know how to do it? And the third question is, do they believe that they can do it? So guys, those are the 3 things. Do they know what it takes? Do they know how to do it? And then do they believe they have the ability to do it? And our responsibility as leaders is to make sure that that information gets put into the people. And that's why when we're prospecting and we're going through form, we need to have these questions in the back of our mind and say, I'm busy recruiting Paula, or I'm prospecting Paula, I'm chatting to Paula, and I'm saying, I wonder if Paula looks like she's the kind of person that will be able to do what it takes. Paula is the kind of person who would actually pick up, and she's willing to learn so that she will know what it takes. And then I think Paula has enough self-belief in herself to actually know that she'll be able to do it. Now I can work with a person like Paula. So I would prospect Paula. I would take her through the process. I would go and have coffee with her. I would go and build a relationship with her, and I would slowly expose my business to her, because once I bring Paula on board, I've got an amazing front line that I can run my business with. So I feel that perhaps we're digging in the wrong pool too often. And the reason being is because we just want to rank up and we just want to put as many people in, and then as many people as we're putting on. Let me tell you something about Paula now that I'm talking about Paula. Paula is the only person that I know that does not have attrition in her business right now. So for example, if Paula has 100 members in her business, she has 100 active members in her business. Wow. That is amazing. Okay, that is absolutely amazing. Whereas if you look at my business, okay, if I have 100 people in my business, I have only got 80 active and I've got 20 inactive. So Paula, I want to give you a shout out to that, because really that is amazing. And it's because Paula is very deliberate in making sure, and I want to tap into what Paula is doing, because she knows exactly what she is teaching the people. That part, do they know how to do it, is what Paula's got right. Okay, that's the part that Paula has got right. And guys, I want to learn from Paula. What is she saying? What is she doing? What is she sitting? How is she doing that? Because I want to know. When I found that out 2 days ago, I said I want to have a cup of coffee with Paula. In fact, my words to Shoal were, Shoal, I need Paula to be training this at your next training course, because we need to know what is she doing, because whatever Paula's doing, she's doing right. Okay, so Paula, thank you for that. And it's because she's got the one thing, they know how to do it. Guys, that is phenomenal. That is really, really phenomenal. So those are the things. Any questions to this point in time? Because I've given you quite a bit of information to digest. And this is what you're going to be doing for the next week. Make mental notes, form. Are you all good? Because you've heard all this stuff before. It's just we need refreshers. Shauna Vandenberg, I know you know this stuff. I know Paula knows this. I know Brenda knows this very well. Awesome, guys. Sean Lemerick, I know you know it as well. Lady Liz, I know you know it as well. Awesome, guys. So please, let's focus on let's focus more on building relationships. There's a favorite saying that I say to all of my guys: always go slow to go fast. Too many of us right now, and I shared this with Doc Ant. I'm very chuffed with the amount of people that are ranking up. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. But what I am concerned about is we're ranking up too fast. Okay, we're ranking up for too fast, and we need to now go slow to go fast, because if you want a solid business with a lot of depth and sustainability, we need to make sure that we've got our teams balanced out. We're working where we're working. You understand who you're going down line in your business and working out. Queen, would you like to ask a question? Let's unmute you. Where are you, Queen? I've lost you. You put your hand up, but I'm not seeing you. Oh, there you are. I'm gonna sorry, you unmuted, Queen. Go for it. Nope. Okay. Okay, guys. Any other questions that you would like to ask? So we've spoken about the. Okay, everybody says loud and clear, so that's awesome. She's raised her hand again. Right, Queen, we're going to try one more time. We've unmuted you. Go for it, Queen. Okay, Queen, I'm going to suggest you type it in, because it's obviously your sound is not working from your side, because we have unmuted you and we should be able to hear you. So please type it in and then I'll repeat your question. Okay, anybody else like to ask a question? So, all good? So let's go back to that first. We've got 10 minutes. So let's go back to the first. The first one is that, do they know what it takes? Which means that you need to provide absolute clarity. Okay. Imagine 2 out of 3 blunders. Awesome. The Zoom call will be recorded for those who weren't able to attend. Absolutely, Queen. So we've got that all for you. All got it done and dusted so you can share with your downline, because it is very important that we know this. So if a person, in other words, if a person doesn't know what it takes, we are the people that need to provide the clarity. Okay, the clarity. Like, for example, it's 5 hours before you go consultant. You need the 5 hours. Okay, so clarity is the first thing. The second thing that we need to understand is that if they don't know how to do it, we need to provide a system of teaching them how to do it. Okay, so if they don't know, we're the ones that need to provide the system. So what is the system that you've put in place in your team in order to help them to move forward from there? And then, of course, if they don't believe they can, you need to put belief into them that they believe. So it is your responsibility, guys. We cannot motivate and put it this way. What's the word I want? We cannot motivate a person to do anything. The person is self-motivated. So we need to remember that. However, we can inspire people. So what we can do is inspire and encourage. And when you encourage a person, what you do is you take your courage and you put it into them. And that's what we need to do. Great, awesome. Thank you, Fernando. We need to definitely be sharing this with our team. Okay, so guys, oh my goodness, I should have somehow my what you call this thing is going crazy. I'm going to switch it off quickly. There we go. Okay, so obviously my emails decided they were all going to come through. I think it's today's the whole lot. All right, so we must provide clarity. Please make sure that you've got a system for your team, and belief. If you can take those three things and add them together, you will help someone to become successful. So when you are prospecting, please bear in mind, is this person teachable? Is this person, if I recommend that they join the mastermind because they want to grow a big business, the first thing they're going to say to me is, yes, I want to join the mastermind, because they're teachable. All right. And that's the most important thing that we need to make sure that we have instilled in our team, is we need people to be teachable at all times. Will they get it right the first time? Probably not, but that's okay. But are they willing to continue to learn? Are they willing to put themselves on that journey at all times? Are they happy to follow the system that you put in place? So, for example, right now, I'm having a problem with one of my young bull downlines, and he decided that he was going to go ahead, and he did not want to plug his people into my WhatsApp groups and my Telegram groups and all the rest of it. And he's really great, and he managed to get himself all the way to consultant all by himself. And then all of a sudden, his downlines have started going and outranking him, and some of them are 2-3 ranks above him now. And it's very simple. He's just not teachable. And so I've put him on the coaching course. I've actually said to him, listen here, I'm putting you on the coaching course. You will go on the coaching course. And I put him with one of the strong coaches that's going to give him a real hard time, because that he needs to be, his brain needs to be sorted out, and he needs to become teachable. And all of us in this industry need to learn new things every single day. And it's important for us to do that. And then he needs to follow a system, because if he wants to be successful, now it's interesting, his downlines that are outranking him have found their way onto my group, and they jump in on every single one of my back to basics. They put their team onto my back to basics, hence they are ranking up quicker than him. So he has to learn that he needs to be teachable if he wants to rank up. Okay. All right, 40. We've got 5 minutes to go, and let's just recap. Anybody want to say anything while I'm recapping? Please just put your hand up, or else type it in, but we're just going to recap. So first and foremost, we need to understand that we should not be trying to speak about our opportunity at every opportunity. We need to be questioning, because we are sifting and sorting, and we're trying to find, especially us as leaders, we no longer need to add the volume in. That's happening from your downline. Your downline is still hitting their warm markets, so your business is still going to grow from your downline's activity that's going to be happening in your downline, because they're still all hitting their warm markets. It's when now the key is for us to go and teach our guys that are going to start switching over from warm market to cold market. How do I prospect on a daily basis? And that is asking form, interacting. And one of the greatest things that you could do if you really want to go for peer and above is simply, for example, let's say I wanted to, Sean is a peer and above for me, Sean Vandenberg. I would say to him, and Sean Lemerick for that matter, I would pick up the phone and say, hey, Sean, I'd love to grab a cup of coffee sometime. I'd love to learn more about what you're doing in your business, and then go there and have the meeting based on that. Obviously, I'm going to work on form, but I'm not going to talk about my business. If he asks, what is it? Why do you want coffee? I'm going to say, because I want to know more about what you're doing. Okay, be honest. I want to know more about what you're doing. And then, okay, because he needs to sell whatever he needs to sell in his conventional business. So he will have coffee with me. But I'm there to connect. I'm there to find out more. I'm there to, and then I will connect him with someone else. So I'm going to say, Sean, I've got 2 or 3 people that are looking for financial advisors. I think I'm going to just pass on your name from there. And while I'm there, I'm going to say, hey, I'm sitting with this financial advisor. His name is Sean Vandenberg. You know what I'd love to do is I think you should maybe grab a cup of coffee with him sometime. Do you not think that Sean, when the time comes, when I phone him 2 or 3 weeks later and say, hey, Sean, we were chatting and you said expressed you a little bit frustrated about your job, or actually you love your job a lot, but what you would love to do is spend some more time with your kids. I've come across something. I'm working on a business opportunity. I'd love you to have a look at this and give me your perspective. Do you know what? Because I've connected and I've worked with him, he's going to say, sure thing, when can we grab a cup of coffee? Now I go there. Now Sean's there to listen to my business. Do you see how we've twisted this whole thing around? So guys, this is what I want you to now start practicing over the next week. And then you're looking for a person that will understand that they're not going to come in and it's not going to be a quick, easy. All right. You're not going to get people placed down line that you're going to have to work if you want to come on board with me, because I'm looking for people who actually want to be workers. 2, they will know what it takes. In other words, they're happy to be teachable. And 3, they have personal self-belief. If you can find prospects with those 3 things, guys, you're going to build a massive business. Super. 2 minutes, teachable and hungry. Absolutely. That's my Sean. Very teachable and very hungry. Awesome, Sean. And I know you're in a great hands in the business that you're in, and I think you've chosen the really an awesome uplines to partner with, and ones that are doing the job properly, which is the most important thing. So well done on that. Super, guys. Anything else? And just so that you all know, none of you are in my business. Every single one of you on this call, none of you are in my business. You're just all my friends, and I love you dearly. How can we do the back to basics? Do you know what? I'm going to have a chat to Shoal, because I do a back to basics with my team on a Tuesday night, and then I jump on with you guys on a Wednesday night, and maybe, just maybe, it is time for me to join the 2 together. But I'll have a chat to Shoal. Okay, awesome, guys. Absolutely, Queen, open-minded, really, and we do love and appreciate you as well. And thank you so much, guys, for hopping on. 1 minute to go, and the reason being is so that I can stop talking for a little bit so that I can get on to the 8 o'clock to do the business presentation for you guys. Okay, so awesome. Really looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow evening. For those of you who are in up here in Pretoria and Joburg, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow evening. And please, if you are out of town, please find out from Arnold and from Ronaldo how you're going to get a Zoom link. Please don't miss it. It will be really worth your while. So God bless you all. Love you. And look forward to chatting to you all soon. Take care. Bye.